Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Keith Dinkbat here, and welcome to a very special Philly Shakedown podcast. We are doing this on Wednesday because I will not be around on Saturday. Joey Shakes, my man, what's going on with you?
Chilling, man. What's you got a busy week ahead of you? You know, I hope you enjoy your time, and it's like a little mini vacation, but it's you're spending some family time, so it's not a bad thing.
I guess they could call it a vacation, but it's a trip nonetheless, no doubt about it, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's interesting because, well, before we get into all of it, let's say hi to everybody in the chats. See how everybody's doing. Logan Motorsports, what's up? JJ Rock Philly, what's up? James, what's going on? Daz, what's happening? Kenny, Scrap, Gigi, Eagles, CO Blaze, Steve-O, Lit City, Mystic, John Jones, what's going on, buddy? Michael, Baron, Isaac, Go F Yourself is here. Slagathirst here. System of the Knot, what's happening? Daniel, what's going on? Steve Rose, I said that one, right? Jim, Bleeding Kelly Green, Maverick still bitching and crying. Maverick, all you do is bitch. Yeah, Donald, but I love you anyways, but you bitch a lot. Donald, Chubbs, Troll King, Andrew, Kyle, James, everybody. If I missed you guys, Brandon, Taylor, anybody, thank you for being here, man. Interesting kind of day, really. I guess the first thing was, and I said we were going to jump right into, well, let's talk about Devonta Smith, and then we'll talk about the thing I don't like. Let's talk about some good news first. Reports are that the Eagles are working hard to sign star wide receiver Devonta Smith to a contract extension, and there's optimism that a deal will get done in near future, per Tim McManus. It'd be interesting to see if Smith surpasses A.J. Brown's $25 million contract. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Now everybody can stop their bitching because everyone was like, "Oh my God, we were locking up, locking up Landon Dickerson and Mulata, and everybody wasn't knowing what was going on. And where's this extension for Devonta Smith?" Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think the agent is waiting for Justin Jefferson, some of these other receivers to get signed. I think I don't think they're trying to he's trying to sign too early. I mean, this could happen before training camp. This could happen during the season. So I mean, it's a good sign. It's great. You're locking up Devonta Smith. Howie Roseman said at one of the breakfast or the end of the year press conference, whatever which one it was, he said, you don't let a guy like that out the building. So it's a homegrown talent. You
definitely don't let him out of the building. But what's interesting about the whole Devonta Smith thing is that he really it makes more sense for him to wait. Now, I don't want him to wait. I'd rather him get signed. But, you think Jefferson's going to sign. CeeDee Lamb is going to sign. Brandon Ayuk is going to sign. You've got all these wide receivers that are looking at redoing their contracts. If he just waits it out, you know what I mean? Then boom.
More money.
He'll make even more money. So the fact that Devonta Smith would actually want to stay and get this thing done early, to me, is a gigantic sign, man. And it's a sign that he is an Eagle first, man, and he wants to win,
Yeah, finally a good, a receiver like Devonta Smith is going to finally be here long term. And, that it comes down to, a lot of things that could happen in this draft. And there could be another receiver on the board for the future. Because I think, in my opinion, and I understand there's a lot of people say, well, they could sign A.J. Brown too. Yeah, sure they could. I think A.J. Brown might reset the market in a couple of years. To be honest with you, what he's done even after during his contract in Philadelphia, he's done fantastic things between the Calvin Johnson consistent 120-yard record for over 6 games, and breaking Mike Quick's receiving record, and so much has happened, man. He's lived up to the contract and probably deserves more. So,
right. Ultra Cowboy says Philly 500. I told you that the Jaguars were not trading Josh Allen. Sucks on that. I mean, whoever said they were trading him? Nobody ever said that.
Did they sign him?
Yeah, he signed an extension today, this morning. But nobody ever said he was trading him. What we said was, if it goes bad, you want to jump in. Howie needs a monitor. Nobody said he were signing him. You get all discombobulated if you mention somebody. Here's what it was. Pro Bowl Josh Allen reached an agreement on a 5-year, $150 million contract that includes $88 million guaranteed per ESPN. So I think he's going to make it like $30 million a year.
Holy
and good for him.
Shit.
I mean, dude, good for him. The Jags actually finally did the right thing. They did the right thing. My dream is dead, dude. My dream is dead.
It happens.
And you know, the thing about it is, I just don't get the Hassan Reddick trade. I know I can't get over it, but just the Hassan Reddick deal does not make sense to me, and it will not make sense to me any time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, still no news on that situation at all.
Yeah. So I mean, but you know, it is what it is. The Jags did the right thing. We needed them to hold out. I thought there could be something wrong when he deleted all his comments that he was bitching about the Jags. I said, oh, why is he deleting all those now? And of course, but it is what it is. As for the Eagles, though, the Devonta Smith thing, you know, if they could get that done now, I think that would be absolutely. That'd be amazing, dude. It would be amazing. They need to get it done, you know.
Yeah, true.
All right, so now I'm gonna pitch a bitch right now. All right, this is the other thing we got going on. The Eagles play the stinking Packers in Brazil. I absolutely hate this. I hate this with a passion. Like, as much as I hate this. I hate it. The Eagles are playing them, a team who I think is one of the better teams in the conference. You're playing them in Brazil, and it counts as your home game on a Friday in your home opener.
Yeah,
I don't like it, man.
I think it's a waste of a matchup because, I mean, look, I think the crowd's going to be, you know, there's going to be. They've never, you know, Brazil's never had football over there, so it's going to be like, I think, even on both sides during this game. But it's just, yeah, you lose a home game, and I feel like this matchup could have been for another, you know, in Philadelphia or in Green Bay or something, make it more exciting that way. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this Friday night game for being the first game of the season where it's really going to be a toss-up with no crowd. Like, if it's an Eagles home game, they could have had at least some, at least be at home and have the crowd on their side. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think it sucks. I think it absolutely sucks. But I mean, listen, it is what it is. You know, what are you going to do? Slagger said, I told you earlier, 500. Reddick didn't like Fangio's plan for him, and overall scheme. He had to go. I don't like it. You don't like it, but it is what it is. Sadly, I know. I just hate. I hear you. I think I answered that comment, but I just hate the idea that you're sitting there and that your coach is saying, well, I'm going to try to force this player who does not do something well to do what I want them to do. And I think that's just a stupid thing, man. I do.
No, I think
it's stupid.
I think it goes into the fact that because consistent games, Reddick's not going to give you that much. Yes, for a year, he's going to give you consistent numbers, but consistent games is where sometimes he doesn't show up in 4 games. Sometimes he doesn't show up in a month. Sometimes, you know, like you said, he's streaky. Sometimes he won't have no sacks in one month. The next month he'll have 6-7 sacks. So maybe they think of it that way, you know, because pass breakups. I'm not seeing him do any of that here. and you pay these edge rushers to go after the quarterback. And I think maybe they think they're just trying to upgrade the secondary more than work on the defensive line. I don't know. Maybe they think they're good on that side. Maybe they're going to add somebody else. Not sure, but it's a loss. But for consistent games, I don't think it's a loss. For a whole year of consistency, I think it's a loss. Like, I know I'm trying to explain it the right way, but we'll see, dude.
Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. James, a member for 29 months. Thank you so much. Says, up, Philly. How was your day? 5 more months until the NFL. Oh my God, that sounds so far away. It seems like it's coming quick. My day was busy, man. I'm getting ready to leave out of town, so it's been busy. Ralph says, Green Bay is a very popular team in Brazil, as are the Eagles. Oh, I'm sure that they are. I just don't like the idea that you have to give up your home opener to not being there. I just don't like it. Yeah, listen, it's one of those things. It is what it is. What are you going to do? It's a Philly thing. Says, I have a feeling the Eagles will lose to the Packers in Brazil. I think Reed Blankenship costs us the game with a pass interference call, gets burnt on a game-winning touchdown. Holy crap. If that happens, dude, that happens, yo. That man's the man right there. We'll see. Eagles says 500. Smitty is absolute stud. Way too good a receiver to let walk. He will be Philly long-term. And also, if they can find a way to keep both him and AJ in the near future, would be awesome. Do you think if they could get him done early, let's say they could get Devonta done before, before CeeDee Lamb, before Jefferson, do you think that there's a way that possibly we could work this out with our boy AJ Brown to come back too?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to, is it money or is it being consistent every year with a good roster offensively, and Jalen Hurts being his friend, and might come into contention with that. And I don't know how AJ Brown's going to feel about going to another team. Like, I don't know if he really wants to do that, but he deserves more money from what he's done. I mean, he deserves probably a bigger contract than what he's gotten now. So I think he's going to reset the market. Is it possible they can re-sign him? Yes, but will they? I don't know. I know the cap increases $20 million next year. The Eagles will have a lot more cap space next year. You saved 14.5 on top of the Reddick trade, so you'll get a big chunk next year, and on top of other moves. So they can do it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Yet to be determined.
Right. Luke says, what up, 500? Have you seen the NFL allows 3 helmet styles now? Let's bring back the black helmets or get some white ones. Yeah, Joey was just telling me that before we came on. Yeah, listen, my dream is to have, the green helmets at home, the white aways, and then the Kelly greens be like the alternate. But yeah, they now can do the black helmets now. I don't know why they make such a big deal out of it. I think 3 helmets is fine,
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Dalton Gray, a member for 26 months. He says, you the man, Denzel. Oh, thank you, man. You're too kind, brother. You're too kind. Smith isn't going to get as much as CD. Jefferson. Chase doesn't have the same numbers as those guys. He might not get the same, but each time those guys get paid, it resets the market. So he's going to make more than he would before they got a contract. That's the problem. And he's better than CeeDee Lamb anyways. I'm just going to be honest with you. The only reason CeeDee Lamb gets volume because there's nobody else to throw to.
True.
It's the truth.
That is true.
Let's see. You were great on Man. Yeah, Man on Fire was one of my favorites. I still, Training Day was still my favorite movie to do. Petey Tadded says, I think we make a splash on draft day. Well, speaking of the draft, let's jump into this because I'm starting to have a change of heart, dude. I am starting to become interested in Cooper DeJean. And I say that in the most positive way I can pause. I mean that. I mean that with a complete pause, right? But he did have his pro day. This is what it says. I can't really read what all that says.
So the So the relative athletic score, the RAS score, is pretty much like, not only do they, it's a combine score. Obviously, it's the regular like pro day / combine scores, but it relates to other players for years on how they test and what they rank that specific player at. So really, he scored a 9.89 RAS out of 10, which is really good. Now he's the 28th ranked corner out of 2,469 cornerbacks that had good testing from 1987 to 2024, which is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the RAS score is. They usually do that with all the pro days,
right?
And then I think you have the other stats too, the actual numbers.
Yeah. Here you go. So he ran a 4.43 in a 40, 38.5-yard vertical, 10-foot 4 broad jump. Outstanding workout. Cooper DeJean has just jumped up the draft charts, though. Like the question is now is he may go in the teens, Joey. He may actually go into teens, but I'm starting to come around to drafting this kid. I am. Yeah. I'm actually starting to come over to it.
Yeah.
Because I think if the Eagles are going to use him the way I believe that they are, he's considered like a weapon on defense. That's how they look at him. And let's be honest. Let's be truthful. I think this team needs more weapons on defense. I don't think they have enough. I think they just lost their best weapon. They have to find a way to replace it, you know?
Mm-hmm. True.
Anthony Stevens, a member for 2 months. Thank you so much, man, for your support. Says, what up, fellas? Here to downfall in Dallas. Dallas stinks. It's a beautiful thing watching them stink. You know what I mean? It's no longer pause. It's Diddy. Wait, Warriors Rage, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, keep up with the times. It's not pause anymore. It's no Diddy. Laugh. Holy crap. Really? I have to say, is that true?
Yeah, it's
no
true.
Diddy, dude.
So
no Diddy. Oh, my God, dude. That's great. Thank you for keeping me up to date. I'm just an old man. I have no idea. You know? Mr. International says 4.43 for safety would be fire. Yeah, I mean, listen, some people think that he's going to be a great outside corner. Maybe he will be. I don't put it past him. When I watch him, I just think, man, I see him as a safety. Because I look at him similar to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think he has natural instincts for the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that not having to play man and stuff would benefit him. I like the kid. I'm actually starting to believe in this kid. Like, I'm starting to be okay with this pick if it was to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think the Eagles look at him as they look at Saquon Barkley on offense. A weapon. Forget the running back. Forget the position. Just a weapon. And I think they would use him all over the place.
Yeah, he was a big-time recruit coming out of high school as a safety because he played safety, DB, and quarterback in high school. He played all three. Still has a lot of records that haven't been broken at his school that I did read on him. But, yeah, as a weapon and as a valued pick for Vic Fangio's scheme, I think that is the only – because with Bradbury here and Slay here, you're not going to pick up a Nate Wiggins, a Taron Arnold. You're not picking up these outside corners. It just makes no sense. Quinion Mitchell, I think it's out of the question now. I think Cooper DeJean, you could put him wherever you want, another hybrid player coming to this defense, because God knows if you have an injury, you can move these guys around. Sidney Brown might be back beginning of the season. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's a movable piece. They could draft another safety like Javon Bullard or something that, is a versatile piece as well. So there's a lot of combinations they have, but as for value, I think he's the perfect fit in Philadelphia.
And it's not Cooper DeJean. It would be Cooper DeJean.
Yes, it would.
Cooper DeJean. Yes. Big Dog says, I like Cooper like a utility player like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Exactly. You can switch them between nickel and safety. Vic would have a field day. I agree. Like, I think of, like, if he would play under Jim Johnson would try to develop a whole defense around him. I think I have come a long way on Cooper DeJean. My first instincts were, nah. Then it was like, well, he might be good as a corner. But then when I watched like him actually play, and I thought of him as like a Swiss Army knife, like a utility player, like a safety, could play in a slot, go outside if he has to. I thought, man, you know what? This kid may be one of those guys that, just because he doesn't come around often a lot. And imagine having two guys like that, two ball hawks in your secondary with him and CJ Gardner-Johnson. It's not a bad idea, dude.
Matchups, Philly. I mean, matchups. Like, if you have to make, what's the one thing we had issues with? Like, making adjustments. Like, imagine if you have to adjust him to like go in another position or whatever. Like, you could do that with him.
Yeah. M says 500. I'm white, and I do not want somebody white on my defense playing corner. Dude, going to be hot trash. Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I could care less. I thought he was French or something. I don't know. Oh, Cooper DeJean, I don't know. What is DeJean? It's like
Canadian?
French, isn't it?
I don't know. He might be Canadian. I don't know.
Well, I might be. That might turn me. Don't tell me he's from Canada. No, I'm just kidding. Canadian people out there. I'm just kidding. No, I don't care. If you could play, you could play. I could give two craps. I think the kid could play, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, man. That's like the least thing I worry about.
It's a stupid take. You can't say that though.
Look, dude, he could be like a little alien. If he could run a 4.3 and tackle and get his little nubby alien hands on and make plays, I'm good for it, dude. Get his ass, his big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The helmet won't fit the alien head, I'm sure, but who gives a shit, Shizo Fleck David Super Chat goes, why don't the Eagles pick up the 5th-year option, then extend number 6? It'd essentially be a 6-7 year deal at a bargain, $28 million. They would have 2 years before it kicks in. The only reason they wouldn't is because it would cost them more money. Because once you have all the contracts that are going to get set by Jefferson, and then you have CeeDee Lamb, then you have Ayuk, and then you have is Pittman up for one or just got one? Like, these receivers are all getting paid, and every time they get paid, it's going to cost the Eagles more to have him. He may not get what Jefferson gets, but he'll still get more than what he would have gotten before the market was reset. So that's their thinking. You're essentially only giving up a year. If let's say he signs an extension tomorrow, he'll play out next year, but that option year that's when the extension will kick in. Shizo, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. Resigning Devonta Smith would put pressure on the Cowboys and Lamb. Oh yeah, that. Well, that's going to get ugly in Dallas. Dallas is stuck, dude. Here's a team that literally, dude, literally can't keep a star. They got a quarterback stinks. They got problems with Parsons, and then now you have CeeDee Lamb possibly going to hold out. That team is a mess. They're a mess, Joe.
Yeah,
I almost called you JoJo. Called you JoJo. Like brothers, that's why I call him JoJo. Skidbar, favorite super chat. He goes, do you know that Arnold was benched Fort Ricks? He was benched for Ricks. I didn't know he was benched.
No, I had no idea.
No. I like Arnold though. I think Arnold's like I honestly like. I kind of like the corners a little more than they've talked about them. Like I kind of like those guys. But dude, I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to become all about this French kid, Cooper DeJean.
It's not fucking French.
He's French. C'est bon. Oh là.
Mané Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. Yes.
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. The Guidos want the French kid. We're eating our spaghetti and McElroy rolling our meatballs. We want the French kid. Cooper DeJean. I like it. Shizo Flex Dave for Super Chat. He goes, no pick up the option, so we have 2 years left. Then extend him the same day or week so that way you can live with the A.J. Brown for at least 2 years. So that's interesting thought because I see what you're saying. He's saying if you pick up the option, then you sign the extension. I think the extension would erase that option year. Like, I don't think you could put it behind it. I don't know how you would do that. That's interesting thought, though. Yeah, I get what you're saying. If you could swing that, definitely. But I don't know how that would work. I don't know if you sign him to an extension that you still get to play at that option year. I wouldn't be sure. I'm not sure how that would work. But I know what you're saying. Don't let the guy go. The guy can't go anywhere. We agree.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
My Eagles draft to move up, draft Dallas Turner, pass rusher. 50 pick linebacker Edrin Cooper, 53 pick safety Tyler Newman, 120 pick Ray Davis, running back. Well, it's interesting. Dallas Turner. How far do you think? I think you have to get into the top 10.
The lower teams.
Yeah. I think you would have to. So him, I know Daz is in here somewhere, and he loves verse. And I think listen, I think that we only have two pass rushers under contract after next year. Nolan Smith and Huff. I mean, they could very well draft a pass rusher. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it really depends. I think Dallas Turner is a great fit because he's got that off-ball coverage. He's done it before, so I think he's a great fit here. And I think Verse is the best edge rusher, period, in this draft. I think he's the number one guy. So
right,
and he's a monster. So yeah, you have to move up in the lower teens for a lot of these guys. I don't think a lot of them are going to pass by too much. But
yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Psychotherapist says, I think you got the Bradbury replacement in Ringo. You just need a Slay replacement. You can get one next year. I feel like offensive line, edge, and inside linebackers are where we go this year. Me personally, if I had to choose one position, I think is most likely, I think it's leaning towards offensive lineman. But then I would say probably edge rusher after that. And then I would say the third would be Cooper DeJean, the Frenchman.
Do you think the rumors? You saw the rumors that the Eagles might be trading up to Seattle's 15. I think it's Commanders and Packers and Eagles rumored to trade up to Seattle's 15. Do you think 15 is a good spot to sit at?
Yeah, I think if you're at 15, you'll have. I think if you're at 15, you'll have some really good options, But I think around 15 is where you're going to see corners start to go. I think guys like Troy Fatanu, that's who I think they want. Okay, that's the guy. I think that's where you need to be to get those guys. So I think 15 is right about where you need to trade up to.
Yeah,
Big Dog says, if Cooper's French, then you have to hold your pinky out when you say his name to show that you're fancy and have class. Cooper DeJean. Yes. Oh, man, the Frenchman. Luke Bradshaw, they were super chat. He goes, DeJean reminds me of Troy Polamalu. Doesn't hit as hard, but isn't afraid to use his pads and help in the run. Versatile, elite zone coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know that he reminds me of Polamalu, but I don't know who he reminds me of yet.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good in open space. He's very good in open space, and he'll sacrifice getting his hands on the football. He'll jump in front of a route if he has to. And sometimes you got to be careful with that, but he's good at it. Always gets his hands on the ball.
I think he's going to be a Swiss Army knife. Natalie says Cooper won't be there by our. Yeah, I agree. I don't think after that pro day he had. I don't think he's there at 22. I think you have to go up around 15. I think it's going to be around that 15 spot. I think is a sweet spot for the Eagles. What would it cost us though? That's the question. What would it cost us?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a second. You have the 22nd. You need to go up 6-7 spots. So I think you probably could do it for. I don't know. Maybe a fourth next year and a fifth this year or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Plus your 22. I don't know. It really depends. It's going to be interesting to see how the top end of this draft goes because if all the quarterbacks go boom, 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 you're going to get some real good players fall to you. But I think that you're going to see a lot of pass rushers go. I think you're going to see a lot of offensive linemen go. I think around the teens is where you're going to see the cornerbacks go. I just do. Bald Eagle, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, Eagles signed Wentz before the Cowboys signed Dak. They put the Cowboys in cap casualty. They will do the same with Smith. Cowboys will overpay CD. I think it's hilarious. That is great. That is great. Thank you for the super chat. Tone says, I like Latu so much. He's so good. Yeah, Joey, you're a Latu kind of guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think Jared Verse is the better pass rusher. The thing with Jared Verse is I don't think he's much of a coverage guy, though. That's the problem. So if you want him strictly as a pass rusher, that's where you're going to have.
I'm so sick of these pass rushers having to drop back and
I know it limits. I feel like it limits us from getting best player available. Like I feel like it's going to be more analytical towards the scheme. Like that's what I'm afraid of going to this draft. Like they have a chance to get a better guy that's an overall better player, but because of this scheme, they have to move better players down the draft board and keep the ones that fit the scheme up at the top. I don't know. I get it, dude. It's
really annoying. Like I don't like the idea that you say, well, this guy does this great, but he doesn't do this great, but we're going to force him to do what he doesn't do great. If you know he doesn't do something great, then make him do the things that he's good at. You know, it just doesn't. It just like, how great does this guy's system think it is? Who's won on his system? Who's won a championship with his system? I mean, how great is it? Who the frig knows? Dad says, don't need to bend when you have Versus power. Yeah, look, I like Verse. I think Turner's almost out of reach. I think you have to go really high to get him. But I think you could, if you were willing to pay, I think you could get up and get Verse. Like, I think Verse is like 12, 13. I think that's where he's going to be.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right.
Mark says, I think that Uncle Jerry is deliberately allowing the team to see how Dak is ruining team. Something's up. Something's up. I do believe I have bought into the Michael Irvin line of thinking that Shedeur Sanders is the plan for the Cowboys, and they want to get rid of Dak. Another guy, Lit City brings up, what about Bowers? I mean, we've talked about that kid's talented, man.
Yeah, as much as you even if you want to get a receiver this year, like getting Bowers it totally changes your offensive 12-man personnel, and Kellen Moore loves using tight ends, and yeah, it'd be fantastic. Wouldn't mind it at all. Yeah.
JJ Irvin says, are y'all wearing the Ole Miss jerseys for the draft? Hell yes. We got it. I got it all ready. It's all ironed. It's all ready to go, man. Those are the good luck. They're the good luck jerseys. How can you go wrong with them?
It's true.
Kelly Green, Batman, thank you for the super chat. He goes, would it be worth it for the Eagles to move up in the first round? I don't think the Eagles have a choice. I'm be honest with you. All the players we're talking about, right? Verse, the Turner. You talk about Fatanu. You talk about the offensive linemen. I mean, every mock draft that I've seen, and listen, these mocks could be wrong, but every one I've seen, 3-4 defensive linemen or defensive ends are off the board by the time the Eagles draft. Same with offensive linemen, same with corners. So I don't see a way that they don't move up, you know? So I think they have to trade up Kelly Green, Batman. I do.
Yeah, I mean, look, they either, because I think another possibility is they will keep that at 50 and 53. At 50, they'll probably stay there, and I think they'll trade back to get into the third round, that second rounder, because they don't have a third round pick either. Do they want to just stay where they're at, or they'll move back? So we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe. King Vlad, what's going on, buddy? Jason says Latu is going to wreak havoc in the NFL. Sit back and watch how good that. I think he's one of the big boomer bust guys. Like, I think he's either an absolute monster stud or he's a bust. I just don't know what to think. The injury stuff worries me about him. It just worries me, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Now I have a proposition for you. All right. This isn't a French proposition like old Frenchman DeJean. Hey man, listen, dude. that he will forever be known as the Frenchman. You know that it's going to happen now. But all right, what about this scenario? What about drafting one of the best defensive tackles in the draft and then turning around and trading Jordan Davis? Would you be open to that idea?
The fuck is wrong with you?
I'm just saying, would you be up to that for the idea?
I don't think you really think they're gonna go for a DT the third straight year.
No, I do not. This is just you being
Philly
creative.
500,
Philly 500, spaghetti and meatballs thought. It's one of those kind of thoughts. I sit around, I'm eating, doing whatever, and it just pops in my head. I wonder, just speculating.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how they feel about Jordan Davis, but yeah, it's kind of like 2 years in now where it's just been him not being conditioned enough or prepared or ready. We've seen a lot of early in the season, we saw the pass rush ability, stuffing the run. And, with this, this defense really fell apart last year. Every piece around him has got to work. He's the main focal point in the middle. I mean, that's, you really depend on him. But now as a nose tackle, going back to his original position, he might be better in this system now. So that's a big move. I mean, you go get a Byron Murphy or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Fisk. Yeah, I mean, you could. I don't know.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's out there. It's an out there thought.
Right.
Like, let's say, or even what's his name? Sweat, right? The kid Sweat. I think Dad
Devondre Sweat
brother. Yeah. Let's say he just got arrested for DUI or something. Let's say he drops in the second or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But, if Murphy's there and he's the best player on the board, would you do it? Because I think he's a beast. And then you trade Jordan Davis.
Are you giving Jordan Davis? I mean, you're obviously just giving Jordan Davis his third year and seeing what you're going to – because then you have to pay him. You have to think about paying him after this year if he plays well. Do you just think they're going to –
It's a make or break for Jordan Davis. This is it. This is his year. To me, if he doesn't show me something this year, I'm not picking up his option here when it comes.
No, I wouldn't either.
But it's just an out there thought. Slipknot says, "Hey 500, much love, my dude. Do you guys think we realistically take a wide receiver within our first couple picks? And do you think we have interest in Trotter Jr. since his dad played with us?" I think that they might have interest in Trotter Jr. I don't know how much it's because of that his father played with him. And the receiver thing, I am still under the feeling that the Eagles haven't done enough at the third wide receiver position, and that there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft, and they may really be looking at one of them in the second round. I really do believe that. Did you see Ladd McConkey's pro day?
That was like a week
Holy
ago.
Shit.
That was really good.
Did you see his footwork and everything? Jeez.
Yeah. Man, he's a beast, dude. Like I think it all comes down to if the Eagles draft an offensive lineman in the first round, then getting a receiver in the second round. I don't think they get a receiver in the second round. I think if they draft offensive line, I think it totally changes. Whether it's a trade back for Troy Fontanu, or they want to move up for a Jackson Powers Johnson, which we still need to see these dude. What I've been saying for the past week and a half, I'm very high on getting an offensive line in the first round. I'm very high on it because it's so valuable. Because just say you get Jackson Powers, guy could play center, guy could play guard, and you'll even have more depth. And then you could figure out if you get the guy from Alabama as well, and you can start him at J.C. Latham, because you could start him at guard. That's the kid I like. Yeah. There's so many different options they have, whether it's the first round, the second round, when it comes to offensive linemen. So
I'm a believer that you make your team strengths stronger. The Eagles' offensive line is important. If you could make that stronger and you draft one of those offensive linemen, I think they play right away. And if you get those guys starting at number one, yeah, I'm all for it, dude. Fatanu, I think is going to be the guy. The Booth kid, Booth Jack, I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So any of those guys, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Death Row South, thank you for super chat. He goes, my picks: edge Muhammad Kamara, center Zach Frazier, West Virginia, then Edrin Cooper, Texas A&M, and Cameron Kitchens, Miami. I like it. I like it. Edrin Cooper, if they could snag him in the second round, that'd be great. I think they need to try to get him in the second because they've got to get another linebacker in there, man. They do. Bald Eagle, thank you for super chat. He goes, the Flying Frenchman. I already see it. Now, there you go. The Flying French. They're gonna draft him, Cooper DeJean. And we're gonna make the Flying Frenchman shirts, Joey. And that's it. It's gotta
He's
happen.
not French.
The Flying French. He is French. You can't have a name but DeJean. That's French. That's a bon. You know. These should help bring levity and a sense of comfort. Thank you for filling it. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. That's a bon.
Oh, c'est bon.
Oh, hey, is this a bon? I want him. I want the Frenchman. I want the Flying Frenchman. I have no idea what he is, but to me, he's French. John Jones says, Powers Johnson, that's who I want. Yeah, I like that kid a lot, man. I think you got to play him at center, though, right? And keep Juergens at guard at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mess with it. I would keep him. Look, if you already had Juergens last year at guard, I mean, screw it. You already did that to Landon Dickerson. I mean, you did the same thing, so you might as well just do it again at this point. Tyler Steen has got to get cross-trained, though, because with Matt Hennessy now being the backup center guard, they got to do something with Tyler Steen. They might have to cross-train him the right tackle. I mean, they got to do something there. They got to cross-train somebody to right tackle. I don't know why that Tyler Steen could play from a left tackle in Alabama now to a right guard. It's just cross-train him the right tackle. I mean, unless they don't see him that way.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Big Doggy T 500 has been sniffing the stinky French cheese to propose that trade. Yes, I have. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm just trying to think. You know, the way I see it, you need playmakers on defense. We're in desperate need of it, and I don't feel we've gotten enough of them yet. J. Wheel Favor Super Chat. He goes, if the Eagles keep both seconds, who are your picks? I don't know who. It depends who's going to be there, but I would like to see with the first second, one way or the other, if you could land like Edrin Cooper, to me that would be awesome. And then a wide receiver with the second is what I would want. So a linebacker and a wide receiver.
It could be linebacker, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, linebacker, offensive line. Just depends what they do in the first round. Like if they get Cooper DeJean, then I think there's a lot of options in that second round is really valuable this year. A lot of good talent in that second round.
IDF Nadala says, Eagles having a good year. Big part will come down to Davis and his. I think Davis is the key to this defense. Like, I think if Davis is on point and he's controlling the middle of that defensive line, I think everything else will feed off of it. I do. To me, it's a make or break year for Davis. It just is. You know, Mr. Ashton said, who's a top 5 player you both want, like who we rooted for at Bajan? Top 5 player? I mean, see, last year we had the 10th pick, was it? 11th pick?
10.
Yeah, we were 10. So you could think about the top end. This year you're much further back. But for me, I think I'm rooting for that center we talked about. I think Fatanu, Cooper DeJean, those are guys that I would like to get. Quinyon Mitchell, which I don't think there's a chance in hell that happens. But those are the guys that I would like to see the Eagles get.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, J.C. Latham. I really like that kid. That's 6'6", man. They say he's nasty, and he could play right guard, and then you kick him out the right tackle. But I think Fatanu got 2 visits with us, Joey.
The crazy thing about the Fatano, they must think he's like, I mean, the most, they say he's the most versatile guy, the most athletic offensive lineman in this draft. Okay, he's barely played guard, like he's barely even played guard, especially on the right side. I think he redshirted his first year. He was a reserve left tackle, right guard, like 3 snaps. And then the last 2 years, he played mostly tackle. So, I mean, look, Jeff's down. We're going to leave him alone, let him do his thing. If he thinks that this guy is that athletic that he can move to the other side, we know it's a big difference when you go play from the left to the right or the right to the left. So I get it. But he hasn't really played much guard at all. So I guess maybe he thinks that, he had a private workout with him and meeting with this guy twice, first the combine, now they're doing a pre-draft visit. It's a big sign that they really like him.
It is a big sign. Well, do you know how old is he? Somebody said, I read somewhere he was a little older than the other rookies. That could be an issue for me. If he's over 24, I don't want him.
23.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, when they drafted the fireman, he was like 26 years old. Luke Bradshaw says, here's an idea for y'all. Take the best player in the first, trade up in the second and get a wide receiver, then trade the other second back, early third, and take Jeremy. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that would make my day. I love that idea, no doubt about it. I love it. I think if you did that, you probably could end up with Ladd McConkey or somebody like that.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Oh, Xavier Legette is another guy. I would absolutely love for the Eagles to snag him.
Yeah. Donna Mitchell too from Texas. I like that. Those are like my 2 favorite like big receivers. Both of them. Yeah,
I like Mitchell. Ghostwick Davis super chat. He goes, did the Eagles have any visits with DeJean? Yeah, DeJean was a visit.
Early.
He came in. The funny thing is, I think it was like there was like 2 corners or 2 defensive backs that came in for a visit. I think there have been 6 offensive linemen, handful of defensive ends. So basically, offensive linemen have had the most visits, followed by the pass rushers, followed by linebacker, and then DBs. And then I think wide receivers was like 1 or 2, and one of them I think somebody canceled.
A few have been canceled already. Even the Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son.
Why? Why
that was canceled?
Receivers. Why?
Change of heart.
What
maybe?
Is going on with the receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Shauna says Micah Parsons is coming home. Boy, the Dallas Cowboy fans, they I don't think they could take it. I think that would be the breaking point. Freddie Lemus, David Super Chat. He goes, could we resign Reddick next year if the Jets don't? Technically, yeah. Technically,
right now,
yes, we could.
Still hasn't been signed yet. Contract still not signed yet.
I'm tired of the Reddick thing, man. Like I keep thinking about it. It keeps bothering me. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm tired of thinking about it. But I'm just so confused by it. That move just threw me off.
I think Howie's hand. I think Howie forced his hand. I think Reddick was just unbearable at the point of where he wouldn't budge, and I don't know. It had to do more with Reddick than Howie. Obviously, it had to have been, and he had no choice but to get rid of him. I mean, for a 26 third-round conditional, that's what really fucking ticks me off. Like, be honest.
That's the thing. That's where it's like crazy.
Not even like a third-round pick for this year. Like it's like a 26 third-round 26 2 years, which. But you save a big chunk of cap space, $14.5 million next year. But that's next year, and you don't get nothing for this year's draft, so it sucks. I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's a Philly thing. Says 500. The Reddick trade and a blanket chip extension lowered my expectations. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm very worried about the Reddick trade. I'm very concerned about the whole pass rushing situation. Not because I don't think Bryce Huff could be good or Noel Smith. I just wonder if we're putting too much on them too. Like I feel like it was one extra move you didn't need to make. But I mean, we're gonna find out. But I'm confused by it right now too. I am. He had problems in the locker room. I mean, see, I don't know. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he was a big problem. I mean, my dad keeps saying to me, well, Reddick didn't last in Arizona. He didn't last in Carolina. Why did those teams rush to get rid of him? That's a great point. Why is this guy on his fourth team? We've got to wonder why. Why would the Eagles take a 2026 pick just to get rid of him?
I mean, if he wanted the money he was going to get, if he wanted the money that he was going to get, why after being in Carolina after a double-digit sack season, why did he come to Philadelphia for so much less? Like, why didn't he just get his big contract with another team then? So I think he just did it at the wrong time. He probably should have signed somewhere else in 22. Probably should have, if that's the money that he wanted. I mean, you were under 30 years old at that time, like you could have gotten a little bit more. But if he stays on his contract this year, then where he could have stayed with us for $14.5 million, then that really sucks. Then there must have been a really big issue.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman doesn't get swindled. That's why this 26 third round conditional makes sense as in, for me, when I say it makes sense as in then Reddick was probably a really big problem throughout this whole process, and they just had to do something. Maybe they were giving up a pick for this year, but it was a really late pick. Or you want to gamble, say, hey, we'll give you a third, but it'll be, and then maybe Howie Roseman was like, look, let's make it a conditional pick and see what he does. So I don't know.
I mean, the fact that they gave the six. The 2026 pick for him, they got that and nothing to help him. They got nothing to help him this year. To me, that tells me something is seriously wrong, that they wanted him gone. There's something has to be. Just has to be something more to this whole thing. But right now, the last few years, we don't get answers. We didn't get no answers to the whole Carson Wentz trade. You didn't get answers for the Reddick thing. You didn't get answers good enough for the Doug Peterson firing. We never know. It's a Philly thing. Says Philly 500. Did we trade McNabb at the same time of the year we traded Reddick? Well, we traded McNabb on Easter. Easter Day is when they traded McNabb. So it's technically, it's kind of similar. But they got stuff for. They got draft picks, immediate draft picks for McNabb. VJ, thank you for the super chat. He goes, what up, guys? We need rushers. I agree. I do. I think we do, too.
Do you think they have more value in upgrading the secondary and saying that Reddick might not be a bigger hit than we actually think? Maybe he's not a big hit as we think. I think maybe the numbers are getting to our heads too much. Maybe he disappears way much than he produces. I'm just trying to understand fully.
Yeah.
The whole situation. That's all.
All I could say is that he is playing on his fourth team. For a guy that has 4 straight years of double-digit sacks, to be on your fourth team is interesting. Big Dog says, Philly likes the Alabama guy because he's big. Pause, no diddy. Absolutely. Pause, no diddy. Yes. VJ Davis super chat. He goes, what up, guys? We need rushers. Oh, I think I read that. Thank you, man. We agree. Anton, thank you for super chat. He goes, I just want to add that because of Hurts' contract in the future years, in order to extend Devonta, we would have to move on from Reddick or A.J. Brown. I wanted to trade Reddick so that we extend A.J. No, thank you for super chat. I totally get it. You weren't going to sign Reddick. When we talk about keeping Reddick, like I wasn't planning on extending him. I just wanted him to finish his contract out this year. That was all I was asking.
You got to think about it too, because locking up Landon Dickerson, locking up Jordan Mailata, this counts as our free agency as well, even for next year. This counts as our free agency for next year. The Eagles will have more cap space next year. You get that $14.5 million from trading Reddick, which is great. So you get a big chunk back. But we'll just it could have been. I think maybe with all those you locked up those contracts and maybe trading Reddick, maybe it was a hard decision that they had to make, and it could be an AJ extension. I mean, who knows? They might want to keep those guys in Philly the rest of their career. I don't know.
You never know. Splenda says, Philly 500. How shocked would you be if we drafted Edrin Cooper in the first? I would be extremely shocked. I would be bewildered. I would be confused. I would be shocked because I just don't see them drafting a linebacker like that. No, not especially off the ball linebacker in the round one. I don't see it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
But I mean, I like the kid a lot. Nifty David Super Chat goes, wondering how people feel about 4-4 Cooper DeJean, the Frenchman, the Flying Frenchman. I think he's starting to win me over. I'm becoming more and more intrigued by him because I think the way that the Eagles would use him is like a Swiss Army knife, and I think he would be a threat all over the field. So that's how I feel about him.
Yeah, the more the days have gone by, the more I do like him. I went to a lot of his past, what he's played in high school, to what he became in college, and I mean, he's athletically, he's a machine. Like open, like off coverage, open field tackling, getting his hands on the football, instinct, like you said. He's got I think the best instinct, big football IQ. He's a big film study type guy. I wonder who's going to be the red star player on the Eagles draft board. I wonder who they really favor, like Sidney Brown was last year. I wonder who the red star player is this year. Edgar and Cooper, maybe. It could be. It wouldn't shock me in the second round. We'll see.
Yeah. I can't wait for this draft, man. It's going to be – you're going to be ready, man. It's going to be a long 3-4 days, man. It's going to get crazy. M says, I hope the hell the Eagles don't take him. Definitely going to be ass. How many white corners have you seen in the NFL the last 40 years? So you're just saying we're due. We're due. But he's – listen, man, I don't know. To me, if you could play, you could play. But I wouldn't let that stop me if I thought he was going to be good. But like I said, I mean, I feel like he's better safety than corner. I know that's crazy. And I know people disagree with that. But when I see him, I'm not saying he can't play corner. He'd probably be great at it. But I think as safety, he'd be really good.
Maybe he's half white.
Maybe he's French. How's Stamp go? Thank you for super chat. Those French guys is VJ says DeJean is a better fit at safety, not corner. I agree. I agree with that.
Okay, I kind of disagree, but
you think he's a better corner?
Well, I think where he stands out is outside corner, yeah. But I feel he can move to safety. Will he play better than that? I don't know. But I think he is a moving piece. But like I said, like he hasn't played safety since high school. He hasn't played safety at all.
It'd be a transition.
Yeah.
It'd be a transition. There's no doubt about it. But I think he could play all over. I mean, I think no matter where you put him, he's going to be good. I think he's going to be a good player. Dad says Matt Corral jerseys. Oh yeah. Daniel says, who else is going? Joey's going to Brazil. I ain't flying. Every week, every day, every other day, you put on like the news. Some plane has got like the doors falling off, the wheels falling off. The you know what I mean? The landing gear don't work. The chairs are like flying all around. I am not flying right now. No way in hell you can get me to fly. It's dangerous.
What's the pick in the first round that would really piss you off? Like, what's the one pick that would be like, wow, they could have gotten a better player? Like, what would be the one pick that they could reach that you would think it would be a bad pick? Maybe there's none. I mean, maybe you don't think
it would depend on the individual player more so than anything else.
Right.
To be honest with you, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a great question.
Just asking. So
I don't know. See, because I think I'm really expecting linemen, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay. This year's a little different. Like there's guys that you're just like, I do not want that guy. I don't really feel that way this year.
Everybody in the chat saying it. So Chop Robinson at 22 would be a bad pick.
Wow, people don't like him.
I
know
don't
why.
because he's got he's one of those monster combine but bad. He's got 4 sacks last year.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the problem.
I know. That. I hear you. That's probably who they're going to draft. And that they were super chat. He goes, I have us drafting Chop in the first. See, Tampa and Trotter in the second. That would give us 3 cornerstone players for our defense. Don't trade the picks, he says. Joey says, no. Joey don't want Chop.
I don't know because there are NFL players that have had bad combines and become like Pro Bowlers. It's too much of it's a hit or miss with Chop. And Chop, I don't even think Chop had even 20 tackles. He had like 4 sacks, not even 20 tackles. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's maybe has a good like one-on-one win percentage rate, like where he beats his guy. Like, maybe athletically or analytically, the Eagles will be like, oh yeah, but I don't think they're picking analytical picks in the first round. Hopefully not with this new defense. This, or not new defense, but this defense now. It's I don't know. I don't know. It might annoy me a little bit, but
it's gonna annoy you. That's right. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. Cooper DeJean, a.k.a. White Chocolate. There you go. Oh, Illuminati, I almost clicked off of that. Sorry about that. Thank you for the super chat, Illuminati. He says, Charlie Newton, number 22. Number 50, McConkey. Number 53, Max Melton. 120 offensive tackle. I like it. I like it. I really... Huh?
Oh, no, I was saying Max Melton. I don't know if he could play on the inside. I don't know because he's the corner from Rutgers, right? I think he'll play.
Do you think any of the linemen they draft need to be somebody that can play on the inside, and maybe kick out to the outside at some point?
Yeah, I mean they would probably rather have a guy that could do both, probably, but we'll see. I mean,
yeah.
If they couldn't keep Reddick on his terms of how he plays, and maybe there's until we know all the rest of the information, maybe they want a guy. Do they want a guy that's more balanced? Or do they want a guy that's just strictly going after the quarterback? It's really up to them.
Yeah. 41-33. Thank you for super chickens. Do you have a later round guy you like 500 shakes? There's nobody that's like I can tell you right off the fly. Oh, this guy's a late pick. I really would like to see us get him. This is just to me, it's just like a weird draft because usually there are guys that I just do not want the Eagles to get, and I do not feel like that this year. And as far as like sleeper guys, I at this point I don't have anybody.
Like,
how about you?
Yeah, like I've been looking at the running backs lately. Like I like Corn from Michigan. I like Braylon Allen's is a bruiser back. And I think he might be could be a 4th rounder, something like that. So there could be a day 3 guy. I mean, I don't know. They might. I'm wondering if they're actually going to add another running back on day 3 as a rotational guy, and maybe they want more of a dual threat, or they want more of a bruiser guy as the number 2 behind Saquon. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Bobby Davis Super Chat goes, could be worse. You could be a Cowboy fan. Go Birds. That's true. I mean, it could always be worse, dude. You could be a Cowboy fan. That is so true. It's not even funny. Your house could be on fire, Joey. You could have lost. Somebody could have stole your new car. It could be worse. You could be a Dallas Cowboy fan. You just don't know. It always could be worse.
True.
Got to count your blessings. Larry says, I want a lineman, either Troy Fatanu or Powers Johnson. I love both those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Can play multiple places, not flashy, but need good O-line. Yeah, I mean, I say keep your O-line nice and young. Keep it good. I mean, that left side with Landon Dickerson signed.
It's locked
and
up.
With Mulata side. I mean, it's locked up for years to come. Keep the interior of that line great. And if you can have somebody that can eventually kick out to that right tackle spot, I'm all for it, dude.
Let me tell you something. If they pick an offensive, if they moved up for Jackson Powers, or they traded back, got more picks, and got Troy Fontanu, I think we'll be the only ones that are happy. I think maybe a few other people, but I think most of the Philly fan base will be pissed.
You think they're going to be pissed
Yes,
off?
I think a lot. Yeah, because it's not
Really?
a sexy. It's not a sexy pick. Offensive line's not sexy at all. That's
No,
why.
I'm perfectly happy with it. The only guy now you got me a little worried about Chop Robinson.
I told you.
I'm thinking, man, I don't
I'm
know.
not trying to change your thoughts on Chop.
Well,
but
I mean, he wasn't like, there's like a couple guys I like over him, like anyways, but
right, it doesn't matter.
know.
Yeah, no, Chop is probably what the fifth. I think maybe the fifth best.
Yeah.
Edge rusher, maybe.
Man, Anton, thank you for super chat. He goes, theory. Eagles are definitely getting Chop. That's why Franklin knew about Saquon before the signing, because Howie had him been constant contact. Wow. Interesting. Maybe. And thank you for the super chat. You might be right.
Shit. I hope not.
Trade up for Quinion Mitchell. I like him. Yeah, I like Quinion Mitchell, but I just don't see the Eagles going that route. I would love that pick. Bald Eagle, thank you for super chat. He goes, I wonder if Fangio wanted to get rid of Reddick because he doesn't want to deal with the BS, and it wasn't about the scheme. Miami players said he was tough. That's what it kind of sounds like. There's something to that, about him. It seems like there may be truth to that. I don't know what
maybe some of these players, maybe some of these linemen have been getting away with shit that now with Fangio in here, there's more accountability now that he's a hard-nosed coach now, that they have a hard ass. We need a hard ass in the building. I mean, the practices, the offseason program has to change. The practices in season have to change, have to be more demanding and not be relaxing on a beach chair with an umbrella drink in your hand. It's got to be more. You know what I mean? Like that shit from Javon Hargrave, that kind of pissed me off a little bit, where you said that the 49ers practices were more demanding and the Eagles were like a very chill, relaxing practice. That bothers me, dude.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Nifty, thank you for super chat. He goes, draft a kicker in the first round. That will never happen. The Eagles got the second best kicker, if not the best kicker in the National Football League.
Yeah, he's Justin Tucker's status, probably even more than him now. He's getting his pay as high as him now, pretty much same
he
price.
Deserves it. I mean, he's as clutch could be. Slagathur says Fatanu is going by pick 18. See, I think Fatanu goes in the top 22. No trading back for him, Joey. Gonna have to go up to get him. More likely, JPJ is available at 22. But he even is probably gone at 21 to Miami. Could be. I heard Dallas is interested in him too. You might totally steal him from Dallas if you took him. Didn't they just lose their center? They just lost their center to Washington.
and left tackle. And Tyron Smith is gone. Stink.
Yeah. Nifty Damer super chat. He goes, Caucasian Cooper would be the second fastest corner on the roster. I'd say behind Ringo. Geez, he might be faster than. What did Ringo run into 40?
4.3.
I don't remember what Ringo ran.
4.4. I think it was a 4.4. I thought it was something like that. 4.3. I think it was a 4.3 something. I think I could be wrong, but I thought it was.
The Frenchman, the French connection. I can see the shirt already. The French connection.
Yeah, we'll see.
The French bomber. Yes, Bobby Davis super chat. He goes, Caleb Williams is a Walmart version of Dak Prescott. Well, I mean, that's not saying much because Dak can't win any big games. James Signor Davis super chat goes, Darius Robinson is more of a fit in Mizzou, not Chop. I like that kid actually. Peyton Wilson or Cooper linebacker, Christian Hayes UConn, Jason Street or Melton quarterback. I like it. I like Peyton Wilson too. He's another guy, but he hasn't come visited the Eagles at all, right? Unless they thought Goddard was him and he came in and he got fooled or something. Because the guy does look exactly like Dallas Goedert, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
VJ, thank you. He says, anyone see Mark Oncilio? Yeah, I saw it. It was like a giant cowboy love fest. It was horrendous. Yeah, it was the whole thing was blaming Kellen Moore for all the Cowboys playoff losses. Seriously, Mark Holmes blamed Kellen Moore for all the Cowboys playoff losses. He said he called Kellen Moore a choke. But he doesn't call Dak Prescott a choke. I don't understand how that works.
They've switched to offensive coordinators, and they've had the same issue for years.
And the same thing.
Still.
The guy chokes in the playoffs. It's crazy. Jules says, yo, love the channel, Philly and Joey. You guys are the best. Can we get White Rerun? White Rerun. Yeah. Joey, you know about Rerun?
No, I have no idea.
No, I figured that. Look up Rerun when it's over. I am used to clowning Dallas after they lose the playoffs every year. It's one of the great things in my life that I enjoy is torturing Cowboy fans about them choking in the playoffs. So is there any? I mean, we're over an hour in. Is there anything else, man, we need to cover before we get out of here? I got to go pack. I got to leave. I got a long trip tomorrow. I'm going to be going till Monday.
You got another one down there?
Oh, I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Anton, thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, my logic could also mean trading up for Fitano. Yeah, listen, I like Fitano a lot. I would be totally okay with that.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, if it's offensive line, I'm going to be really excited. I would be really happy. I have no issue with offensive line in the first round. Me
neither. Me neither. 4133 David Super Chat goes, I like Tip Relman, tight end from Illinois, 6'5", 270, 4'6", 40. That's a big. I haven't watched him at all. I need to go check him out. But tight end in the second round or later, I mean, that would be. I don't think they'll go. I mean, I guess they could go Bowers in the first round, but Goddard was a second round pick. Would they really go in second tight end in the first round?
No, I mean, you're looking at the situation because Dallas Goedert's 28 years old right now. They didn't try to find their second tight end last year because they didn't use Albert O, and Calcaterra's been an injury prone mess, and Jack Stahl is to the Giants now, and he wasn't probably going to be a future first. At least this would be your future first tight end, because by the time Dallas Goedert hits 30 on his contract, he's a free agent, or I think after that year he'll be a free agent. Yeah. So you just have to start thinking more of the future. He's missing 4 or 5 games a year. I mean, even though some of these injuries might not be his fault, but he's missing 4 or 5 games a year. So I think you have to think bigger than that. So
yeah. Fizzy LaRue says, I'm perfectly fine going offensive line the first, but I think getting more weapons on D is bigger priority. Yeah, I think you need more weapons too. DeJean is the pick. All right. He likes the Frenchman. Cooper DeJean. I'm coming around on DeJean, man. I might have to do a video on him because I'm coming around. Splendid says 500. Chop gives me Barnett. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out on Barnett. I'm out on Chop.
I'm telling you,
I can't relive Barnett. I can't relive it.
That's the whole thing with him. Like, people, like, they were saying it to me, like, when we first got into the draft stuff, and I kind of looked at it a little closer. I was like, he's a combine champion. Like, that's what he is. Like, that's all he is right now. He's got no numbers to back his play. He really doesn't.
Yeah. We're trading up to the Jets' 10th overall pick. Oh, man. See?
That'd be great.
I would have loved it if they would have traded Reddick and basically just swapped first round picks. I would have been like, all right, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen, that'd be great. But if you trade up to 10, who are you going for? Verse? It's got to be Verse, right?
It's Verse or Turner. I mean, one of those. It's going to be one of those two. I mean, I can't. I think it's going to be an edge rusher if they move up that far.
Yeah, I do too.
It's got to be edge rusher.
41-30 David Super Chat goes, Roman is a late round prospect, round 5. So okay, I need to check him out. I definitely need to check him out. But yeah, man. I guess that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, but to let everybody know, me and Philly will be streaming all 3 days of the draft. We don't cheat the system. Like we don't You know, we don't ruin the picks at all. You know,
Yeah.
we kind of do everything with a naked eye. So if you guys want to come in those 3 days, you know, first day,
Yeah.
whatever, and you know, we'll be streaming all 3 days and ready to go. So
If you want to come in and watch the draft, like literally watch the draft with us,
yeah,
then we're the place. We're not going to tell you the picks early because I know that they give them out early. You can get them. But you know, that's not what we do. We want to enjoy it. It's like an event for us. And you know, you guys time your channel, whatever you're watching with us, and just sit back and enjoy. It'll be fun. It's
yeah.
gonna be crazy, you know. No doubt about it. But you have anything coming? You got anything planned for tomorrow?
Yeah, it's the video and probably a stream tomorrow. That's about it, you know. Other than that, that's really it. It's quiet until we hear more rumors on, you know. I don't know. Do you think, because it's not really in Howie's nature to make a trade up in this draft before the draft? I mean, technically they do, you know, make it before the draft, you know, most of the time. But do you think it's most likely a trade up on draft day during the draft? Do you think it happens before that? Something planned?
I think it's most likely during.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll see. I think Howie likes to wait and see how things are falling and how, you know, how it's going, and then he reacts to it. So I do expect him to trade up and be aggressive. You know, I should have a video out tomorrow too. I got to film one and try to get it ready for the morning. And then I might jump live a couple times while I'm away, because it's easier than making videos being, you know, out of town. So you guys can look for that. And then Shakedown will return next Saturday, right? So that'll be that'll be the last Shakedown before the draft. What might have to try to pull like a mock together or something that, you know, we could talk about that. Maybe that'd be kind of cool, you know.
That's the 20th. So we have so we'll have 5 days.
The last Shakedown before the draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be good, like maybe like I don't know, we'll figure it out, but it would be kind of cool. But all right, guys, we are going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining us on this special night. We know we normally don't do it, but we had over 600 people for pretty much the whole stream. Nice. So we thank you guys so much. I'm going to a wedding. My brother's getting married on Saturday, so I'll be doing that. And yeah, you'll see me. I'll probably jump in live on like Friday or something like that. But anyways, guys, you have a great night. We will see you later. And yeah, we out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off! It's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dad! That was on you, Dad! That was on you, Dad!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott!
Trying to feed the
Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb! Trying to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You tried to feed the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.